isolation training this weekend, so find all the bolsters. Please grab, if you have blocks available to you for class, grab 2 blocks, or books will do, some sturdy books, or even just something that you can use to put some weight on. We're going to be doing mobility work today, but really we're just focusing on being able to get up and down off the floor, which can feel a little clunky sometimes, so the blocks come in handy if you need a little extra lift. So grab block-ish shapes, and we'll get started in just a couple minutes. We'll pop the playlist. Finally a new playlist. I had some time to sit down and make one. I'll pop that in the chat. Okay, let me grab this playlist. Okay, I'll grab some water, pop that in the chat. 2 blocks for class if you're just hopping on now. Nuts. So I'm going to load my things today. There we go. Okay, the playlist is called You Were There. If you already follow me on Spotify, you can get that put on. Otherwise, I'll link it in the chat. I've had some issues putting the playlist with the class, so if you're watching this in the future, I'm sorry if it's not linked in there. I'm trying to remember how to do that. All right, playlist is in the chat if you want to follow along, and we can just pop it on right away. So we'll probably land right around 45 minutes. And all right, so we're going to use our blocks right off the bat and find a passive squat or malasana squat. So taking the block, or maybe even both blocks underneath you, I like to start at the highest setting just to give my hips and everything else time to settle in. Turn the toes out. The knees will track in line with the toes, so just make sure everything's kind of at the same angle here. And then just settle to sit down so that your weight is supported by the blocks underneath you. And even if you're comfortable in a malasana or a passive squat, just give yourself some space to feel supported for a little while. And you can start to draw the hands either on top of the knees or to the insides of the knees. Really fan out through the fingertips and the arms, puff up your chest and sit up really tall, focusing on the length of the spine. And once you find that length in the lower part of your spine, you might really start to extend up and out of the neck, and maybe even think of lifting the back of your palate or the roof of your mouth up a little higher to tap to the crown of your head. It's just an imaginary thing. And then with this length, see if you have more space to breathe a little deeper than how you walked onto your mat today. And if you don't have that today, that's okay too. Just giving yourself another few rounds of breath to set a baseline, or finding the ground underneath you has been a nice image for me lately, or maybe even a physical practice of feeling the ground underneath my feet. And like I said earlier, today's flow is about mobility and really about just being able to get up and down. And I think that's good practice for life as well. Now, if you're feeling pretty good here with the height of your blocks, you're welcome to stay. You might play around with lowering down to a lower setting. Once again, knees tracking with the toes, slight turn out here to find that slight external rotation of the hip, or for a lot of us, a big external rotation of the hip. And from this lower setting, you might begin to work your elbows to the insides of your thighs. You're always welcome to keep the arms open. Sometimes this really helps me to sit up tall, but if you'd like, you can bring the hands to heart center. Pressing the thumbs in towards the chest helps you to find that little lift of the chest and opening of the knees. And you can start to press through the pinky edges of your feet to feel that opening of the knees outwards, because they kind of like to collapse in here. Finding that same fluid and big breath, working to expand a little bigger and to soften a little bit more on your exhales. Making sure you feel comfortable with the legs. Release the hands. Take a big breath in to reach both arms wide. And without hooking your elbow or anything, just take a nice open twist over towards the right. Right away, the knees want to cave in. Press through the pinky edges of your feet. Keep that opening. And then just turn your chest. You don't need to crank or push or use any traction other than your arms. Space for my arm back here. And think of drawing your right shoulder blade back behind you towards your spine so you can feel that nice broadening of your collarbones. Good, nice and slow inhale back up through center. And exhale right over to the other side. Check in with those knees, press them open, open twist towards the left. Feeling that twist from your mid-belly, the belly button line. This time the left shoulder will wrap back behind you, working on broadening the collarbones, getting nice and wide through your chest. Inhale back through center. And if you're here in a place where you can keep the elbow to the inside of the knee, we'll find a little bit more traction on this side. If you're working from a higher place and the inside of your thighs are not accessible to you right now, that's totally fine. You're getting the same benefits. We'll just do the open twist one more time on each side. So if you're here hooking the elbow, I like to make a fist with my left hand and then start to press the back of my arm into my left leg, pressing through the pinky edge of the foot so the foot is tractioning here. And then same with the right side. Start to pull open with the right arm, finding that open twist. You might even extend the hand back behind you, or you can also take the hand to the inside of the thigh and encourage it open. So both knees opening outwards, breathing and spiraling the chest open. Think of wrapping the left rib cage towards your right knee. Nice and slow on your next breath in, rise up through center. Might feel good to reach the hands up or forward. And then slowly work the right elbow to the inside of your right leg. You can make a fist pulling down, almost like you're pulling down on a strap. And then from here, press through the pinky edge of your left foot as you draw the left shoulder, left side of your chest open. Or you might even press or bring the forearm to the inside of your left thigh. Check in for those collapsing knees, opening outward here, broadening and opening wide. Inhale, come back up through center. Start to lift the butt off of the ground. Move your blocks out of the way. Make sure that they're handy for you at the top of your mat. And then you can use your fingertips, or you might start with that mobility work right off the bat. Stamp through the feet and slowly start to rise up to standing. A nice wide leg mountain pose. Parallel the feet when you get to the top, but leave them wide of the hips so you have a nice stable base. From here, reach the fingertips high, lengthen and reach. And exhale, hands through heart center. Good, one more time. Inhale, reach, reach up, extend. Press the hips slightly forward, broaden the front side of your body. And exhale, hands to heart. Make your way to the top of your mat if you're not there. Finding that nice wide set mountain pose here. And then as you're ready, sit the hips low, find your chair pose. Now from here, we're going to want to track the knees with the toes once more, pressing through the pinky edges of the feet and the big toe edges, and see if you can try to rip the mat apart so you're really engaging the outer hip and the glutes. From here, just a slight pull of the belly button in towards the spine to support your low back. Sit a little lower, but think of a slight backwards motion, pulling into the heels and reaching your butt back behind you. If it feels good, the arms can cascade up by the ears. I like a nice wide set so my shoulders have space and I have room to breathe. Now from here, turn the toes out from your chair pose. Slowly start to settle the hips towards the heels. Nice and slow. Start to warm up those quads. Reaching the arms in front of you for a counterbalance, and then slowly drop your tush to the ground. Might be graceful, might not. So we're in our boat pose. You might start with the heels on the earth. Adjust your seat so you feel stable. Sit up nice and tall, just like before, focusing on the length of the spine here. Reaching the arms forward. And then just begin to straighten your legs out and lower about halfway with the upper body. So starting with a supported low boat, reaching the arms forward, broadening the collarbones, lots of counteractive movements here, flexing the toes, rooting down through the heels here. And then if you feel good, you might lift the legs. Sometimes it can feel better to point the toes here. Start to feel those shakes. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, pull the knees in towards your chest, coming back up to a lifted boat. Cross the right ankle over your left thigh and just start to rock and roll a little forward and back here until you can make your way onto your left shin. And this is where the blocks in your hands come in handy to press yourself up into kind of a little half squat here. So we're resting on the left shin and the right foot is planted. And let's just take a moment to feel that out. Feeling this in my calves and my heels. So press around a little bit, stretching out through the back of that Achilles. I don't want any frustrations or feeling of, like, my word has been clunky lately because, you know, we're not always going to feel graceful, and especially in mobility work, it is called work for a reason. So just giving yourself space to feel clunky today, to feel challenged or frustrated with any of these movements that we're doing. It's okay. We're not here for perfection ever, but especially today, we're just focusing on being a little silly and learning to get up and down off of the ground in new ways. All right, as you're ready, slowly bring the left foot out from underneath you. Drop it back, low boat, right away. Reach the arms and the toes forward. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, cross your ankles. This time, right shin drops down, left foot steps. Use your hand or not to pull yourself forward into that little half squat position. Little rocking forward and back, side to side. Check in with all of the ground points. As you're ready, move your right foot closer to your left heel, drop back down onto your tush. Again, if you can go without your hands being used for support, you can find that as an extra challenge. I like to use mine for balance because I'm still new to this. Reaching the arms and legs forward, low boat, take a big breath in. Exhale, high boat, knees in towards your chest. Right ankle on top of left, roll it forward, find that squat. This time, reach the arms forward. Good. From here, we're gonna stand up, curl the left toes under, rise up, pull the left knee in towards the chest, stork pose or one leg mountain. I know it's tough. So we're finding ourselves here, lifting that left thigh in line with the hip if possible, or finding somewhere between it where you're letting that hip flexor work for you.
Take a big inhale. As you exhale, lowering back down the way we came in, left shin to the earth. Take your time here. Drop it back, low boat, extend the arms and legs. Inhale. Exhale, pull it in. This time, right shin down, left foot forward. Rise up, one leg mountain pose. Pull the right knee in towards your chest. This is where the clunkiness is being fully embraced. Embrace those wobbles. Breathe into this, finding length, finding lift. As you exhale, lower back down, right shin to the earth. Drop the tush, low boat, extend it out long. Big inhale. Exhale, pull it in. Other side, left shin down, right foot forward. Curl it under, rise up, stork pose, left knee in towards your chest. Whew. Pausing here, finding that focus of your vision. Zero in on something to help you find that little bit of balance. Beautiful. This time, start to kick the hands back behind you. Lead with the chest as you bring the foot underneath you and back behind you. Reach long through the left toes, land them at the back of your mat, lower down to the left knee, low lunge, sweep the fingertips high on Vinyasa. Settle the hips towards the heels, giving yourself a moment to stretch out the hips, pull them back. I like to make sure that my right heel is in line or just outside of my right hip, so I have a nice wide base here so I can feel stable. Take one more breath in, lift the chest. As you exhale, curl the left toes under, lift the left knee, straighten both legs, lean the hands back behind you for a floating pyramid. If you want to shorten up your stance a little bit to feel more balanced here, that's nice. Know that the blocks are here for your arms, but we're going to try these floating variations, really trusting the strength of our legs to support us today. So bringing the hands back behind you, scissoring the inner thighs, pulling them up and in. I like to spike my left heel here to start to feel those inner thighs wrap together to support my pelvis. And then you can find a little bit more hinge through the chest. Beautiful. Keeping that back knee lifted, lunge into the front knee, high crescent lunge, sweep the arms up. Fan open through the front side rib cage, one more big breath in. As you exhale, launch into your stork pose, left knee in towards your chest, one leg mountain. Here we are. Lowering back down onto the shin, finding our low boat. Arms and legs reach forward and long. Big breath in. Big breath out. Very nice, y'all. Rocking forward, shin to the earth, left foot plants, rising up, right knee in towards your chest, one leg mountain pose, stork pose. Unlike the birds that look so graceful balancing on one leg, we might not feel that way today. Embrace that, that's okay. There's no need for perfection. As you're ready, start to kick that foot back behind you as you cape the arms for a nice counterbalance. Maybe sweep them forward for a counterbalance. Extend the toes long, land them at the back of your mat, lower down to the right shin, low lunge or Anjaneyasana, puff your chest up. And then you can settle the hips really far forward if it feels good, pull them back. Just notice how it feels to move around from this shape. Side to side, checking in. Then as you're ready, settle back to some stillness. See if you can bring your pelvis to the insides of your heels, so right down the center. Then curl the right toes under, start to hover that back knee, and then straighten both legs as you lift the hips up for your floating pyramid. Hands cape back behind you, and then you can start to hinge and stretch forward. Press down through that big toe of your front foot to help you stabilize. And then wrap the thighs in towards one another. Check back in with your breath. Mine is a little faster than before, so make sure you're still breathing. As you're ready, we bend into your front knee, high crescent lunge, arms frame the ears back, knees lifted and strong. One inhale, flare, open the front ribs, gentle little back bend here. Exhale to come back to a neutral spine. Inhale, launch forward, stork pose, right knee in towards your chest. Exhale, lower down to the right shin, back to your half squat, right into your low boat, extend out. Inhale. Exhale, high boat, wrap the arms around the shins, give yourself a moment.
This is like our child's pose today, a little rock from side to side, giving yourself some love. And also for me to catch my breath because I didn't think about needing to speak words while doing this flow today. Very nice. As you're ready, start to lean back. Find your boat pose into your low boat. Extend out long, big breath in. Exhale, pull everything in. Land the left shin, right foot forward, launch yourself, coming right into our stork pose, left knee into the chest. Exhale, step it back, kick the arms, lower down to the left shin, Anjaneyasana, low lunge, sweep the hands high. Exhale, floating pyramid, lift the left knee, straighten the legs as much as feels good, keep the arms back behind you, lead the chest forward. Find that lift and squeeze at the thighs. Inhale, high crescent lunge, rebend into your right knee, lift the arms. Exhale, launch it forward, stork pose, big breath in to lift your left knee high. Exhale, settle down to the left knee, half squat to low boat, extend it out long. Big breath in. Exhale, high boat. Cross the ankles, this time right shin down, left foot forward, launch it up, right knee in towards your chest. Exhale, little warrior three, float your toes to the back of the mat. Land it, lower down to the right shin, sweep the hands up high, big breath in. Exhale, floating pyramid, straighten the legs, you lift the hips up and back. Inhale, high crescent, rebend your left knee, arms frame your ears. Exhale, inhale, stork pose, right knee launches in towards your chest. Nice and slow, lower down to the right shin, down to your tush, low boat, extend it out, big breath in. Exhale, high boat, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a little squeeze. So if you haven't noticed yet, this is going to be a chaturanga-less class, focusing on balance and mobility instead of using our wrists and our upper body strength to support us. Alright, y'all, we'll start to add on from here. Finding our low boat when you're ready, extending the arms and the legs out long. Big breath in. Exhale, pull it in, hook the right ankle on top, left shin down, right foot forward. Stork pose, rise up, lift the left knee. Exhale, step it back, land the toes right away, high crescent lunge this time. Again, take time to widen your base if you need. Feet in line with the hips is what feels good to me. And then find a little press of the left hip forward here. So we're kind of engaging the glutes to find that lift up instead of pressing the belly out. A little core engagement to support the low back. Big breath in here. As you exhale, pull down fists to the shoulders. From here, left arm reaches forward as you just like, it's called archer's lunge, like you would pull back a bow and arrow, pull the right hand back, finding a nice open twist. Your right hip might want to scooch forward, tuck it back, bring the left hip forward, so we're finding that twist all the way through the pelvis as well. Focus your vision here to help you stay balanced. Now from here, release the right hand down to your left thigh, sweep the left hand high, reverse your lunge. It can be really easy to dump down through the right shoulder, but it's feeling better later to square my chest up towards the ceiling, bring the left shoulder in line with the right, and then lean back from here. Big breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, high crescent, come back through center. Exhale, floating pyramid, straighten both legs, keep the hands back behind you. Now it can feel nice to shorten up your stance here, so you can either drop the heel down or just feel like you have that nice lift and stabilization of your hips. Now we're going to move into a variation of our revolved triangle, where we're going to find that same open arm variation that we've been working with. So start to draw the left arm in front of you, right hand back. Squeeze the right hip back as you pull the left hip forward, finding that nice lift of the inner thighs. The heel is down, press down through the back heel and the front heel, try to drag them towards one another.
If it feels good, you can kind of hinge from the waist, dropping the left hand down a little bit more parallel with that right leg. Embrace those wobbles here. No big deal if you fall out. All right, big change coming up. Inhale, lift up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, skandasana or lateral lunge. Let's all start with the lateral lunge. Spinning the left heel down, turning the toes out and away from us, bending deeply into the left knee. Think chair pose in that left glute, so we're sitting low. Now the right foot can stay grounded, or it might feel nice to rotate the toes up. Then from here, if you want to go down for skandasana, hip towards heel is nice, but you never have to get there. Breathe wherever you are. Think length through the spine. One more inhale. And a full exhale. Good. Turn the right toes forward. Right away, find your stork pose. Maybe gracefully, maybe not. Left knee lifts in towards your chest. As you exhale, shin to the earth. Half squat. Coming down, low boat. Inhale here. Exhale, knees in towards the chest. This time, left ankle on top. Right shin to the earth. Left foot forward. Curl the toes under. Right knee in towards your chest, stork pose. Give yourself a moment to center. Meeting any of those frustrations or clunkiness with love and acceptance. Working through this together today. As you're ready, float the foot back nice and slow, controlled, like you're moving through molasses. Drop the toes down, high crescent lunge. Widen the base of your feet. Feeling that nice stretch to the top of the right quad and hip flexor, unless that's just me. Finding that press of the hips slightly forward to help pull the pelvis right underneath you. Big breath in. As you exhale, draw the fists down to the tops of the shoulders. From here, right hand punches forward as you find that archer's lunge, pulling the left arm back like you're pulling back a bow and arrow. From here, the left hip will pull back as you twist, the right hip pulls slightly forward. Wrap the left shoulder back behind you just like we did in our twist earlier. Release the left hand down, reverse your lunge, reach the right hand high, lean back. Maybe you square the chest, or you can find that big twisting motion here if that feels better for you. Keep the breath moving. Next inhale, high crescent lunge, come back. Exhale, float your pyramid, start to straighten both legs, hinge the arms and the chest back. Once you found your feet, maybe shorten your stance to spin the heel down. Let's try that on this side. Wrap the left hip back, right hip forward. We're finding the hips first. And then we'll slowly start to find that open twist. Left hand back, right fingertips reach forward. Broadening into a big capital T with the arms. And then if it feels good, you can hinge a little from the hips, bringing that right arm more parallel with the left leg. Embracing those wobbles. Make sure you're not locking out. We're engaging. We're pulling the thighs in towards one another, finding length through the spine and the fingertips. Nice and slow, come back through center. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, skandasana, bend into the right knee, right toes turn out. Lateral lunge, maybe you stop about halfway. This is a beautiful variation, my favorite. Or if you're feeling it, drop a little lower, find your skandasana. Toes can stay on the earth, or you can lift them, flexing the foot, whatever feels best for you. Think of sitting low, back behind you, like chair pose in the right leg. Hands to heart, you can reach them wide, forward, whatever feels good here is welcome. Heading to our stork pose, take one more breath in. As you exhale, look forward, land the left toes, pull the right knee in towards your chest. This side felt easier, and lower it down onto the shin. Half squat, low boat, and hold it. Breathe, embrace the shakes, embrace the challenge here. I am feeling it. Haven't been doing a lot of core work this quarter. quarantine. Inhale here. Exhale, high boat, lift up. Big breath in. Exhale, low boat. Inhale here. Exhale, high boat. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, extend long. Inhale. Exhale, high boat. Drop the feet, wrap your arms around your shins. Round and curl, giving yourself a little hug, little rock from side to side. All right, y'all, we're gonna work a few more, some up and down movements, and then we'll take it down to close out class. So as you're ready, start to rock and roll onto your spine, and then back, planting the feet down as you come up. So checking in, trying to touch the feet down to the ground. I like hands behind the thighs, but you can also keep them forward if you want a little less support. Blocks will be nice here for this next motion. We're gonna start to gain some momentum, or you can just not use momentum for an added challenge. Plant the feet in your malasana or passive squat, then start to rip the mat apart, standing up tall, wide like mountain pose, reach the hands up high. As you exhale, draw the hands to heart. One more time, big breath in. Full breath out. Good, now we're gonna play around with a little bit of a toe squat here. You can keep the feet wide. I find it easier to actually have the feet stepped in together so I can squeeze everything into my midline, but you can try on both. So from here, let's start with the arms reaching forward for a nice counterbalance, palms facing in, shoulders back, collarbones broad. Start to pull the belly button in towards your spine, squeeze the glutes a little bit so you have that nice stable pelvic area. And then start to spike the heels over the ball mounds of your feet as high as you can. If it's not very high today, that's okay. And then just like you're sitting back into your chair pose, reach the booty back as the knees draw forward. And slowly, as controlled as you can, start to lower down. Keep the breath moving. When you find the bottom, hips to heels maybe, or somewhere in that general region, keep the arms out as a counterweight, focus your vision. Embrace those wobbles, notice what toes are lifting, and press all 10 toes down into the ground. Then press down through the ball mounds of your feet, see if you can spike the heels a little higher. Beautiful job. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Good, one more time, big inhale. As you exhale, drop the fingertips down, forward fold, lift the hips high. Bend the knees, spike the heels, drop back down to your toes squat. You can use the fingertips or blocks for support, or you might reach the arms in front of you, focusing your vision once more. All right, y'all. These ones were really gnarly for me. We're just gonna do 2 rounds, but we're gonna work on picking ourselves up and down from this kneeling position. Now, if your knees are feeling this already today, if you have any knee issues, just find yourself in the squatting position, or maybe in a malasana, or you can just find a position on your back, and we'll meet you there in a few. So from this toe squat, you're gonna start to spike the heels high, really lift up through the chest, drop down to your knees with as much control as possible, lift the hips, squeeze and press the hips forward. But now we're gonna come back in that same way. Start to squeeze the inner thighs, hips to heels. Try lifting both knees at a time, coming back up. Ooh. One more time, big breath in, puff up. Nice and slow with control. Lean back as you drop the knees forward, stand up tall, big breath in. And as you exhale, hips to heels, squeeze those inner thighs, play around with lifting the knees up. Woo. Last little toe squat. And then settle back down to the bum, maybe without control. Nice job, guys. All right, if you're on your back, rock and roll up to a seat. Let's all meet here. Extend your left leg forward, nice and long, taking a moment to adjust your seat, your sweet potatoes. If you have any sort of like knee collapsing issues, where you feel locked out, or any knee issues at all, it might feel nice to have the support of a blanket or a towel behind your left knee. Then your right knee is going to bend in towards your chest, keeping that foot as close to the glute as you can. Sit up nice and tall, maybe giving yourself a little hug. And then peek down, make sure that your heel's in line with your outer hip to start. This will give us a little bit more space.
And from here, you might need to physically adjust your belly or your chest to the inside of your leg. From here, let's start to bring the right arm to the inside of the right leg. This might be enough for you, or you can really start to flex the left foot, sit up tall first, and then you might start to hinge and fold over your left leg. You can reach the fingertips forward, just make sure you're not bringing it into the shoulders. Think chest to toes more than shoulder tops to toes. And then check in, this right knee might want to collapse out or in. Pull the heel back towards your glute and squeeze that knee in towards your right shoulder as you press the shoulder back into the knee. Keep the legs just as they are. Root down through the left heel, flex the foot, pull back with the right foot. Slowly lift the chest, open twist to your right. Right hand back, left hand forward. You might just find that archer's variation, or both arms can reach out long. Pull the right knee in line with the right hip. Tug through the foot, press down through the heel and the right foot. Nice long spine. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Come back up through center. Extend both legs out long. Right leg stays extended, left knee bends in. Good. Squeeze the knee in, find that nice tall seat first, and then start to get active through the legs. So flex the right foot, kick out and down through the right heel, tucking that right hip right into the socket, and then make sure the left heel is in line with the outer hip. This will give us a little bit more space for those of us with any sort of flesh that we need to move around. So I like to reach in, grab my belly or my chest and move it to the inside of my leg. And then I'll bring the left arm to the inside, finding that activation, pressing left foot down, left knee to left shoulder, and then I broaden out from here. Take a breath in, puff up through the chest, get long through the spine, and as you exhale, you might fold. And your fold might be up here, just focusing on broadening, stamping down through the foot, finding nice activity through the legs here. Good, keep the legs as they are. Next breath in will lift you up. As you exhale, pull the left arm back, right arm forward, find your twist, wrap that left knee in just like it's still pressing into your shoulder. Maybe you extend both arms long. Check in with the legs, stamp down and out through the right heel as you drag that left heel in. Nice work, y'all. One more full round of breath. Really stamp down, find that activity. And exhale. Inhale back up through center. Extend both legs out long. Adjust your seat. Take a breath in, lift up, find length. As you exhale, fold over the thighs. It can be really nice to bend the knees here to find a little bit more rounding through the spine. There is never any need for you to touch your toes. It doesn't make this pose better, and it doesn't make you better. Just find something that feels good for your own body, whether it's bending the knees or extending the legs, whether you're sitting upright and this is your fold, or you can fold all the way down. All of these are just different expressions, completely unique and original to each of us. More rounds of breath here. Really allowing yourself to round now, tucking the chin in towards the chest. I like to actively press my chin towards my chest to get that nice opening through the back of my shoulders and my neck. Your next inhale, like a little caterpillar unfurling, slowly rise up. And then bend into your knees, soles of the feet on the ground, make your way down to the ground. When you get here, draw your knees in towards your chest. You can reach for the shins or the knees. You might give them a little squeeze down like you're giving yourself a hug. Rocking from side to side to massage out any low back or top of glutes that might be holding on to some tension. My low back has been real sassy lately, real spicy. Now from here, if it feels good, you can draw the knees a little wider out towards the armpits. Start to flex your feet just like we did before. Kick out through the heels, toes back towards your shins. Now this is a beautiful variation of our happy baby, but if you'd like to try something else out, you can reach up through the inside or the outside of your foot, either one is fine, and then start to pull the shins back in line with your forearms. Making a nice 90-degree-ish shape with your legs. From here, you can rock from side to side. If you'd like to still lift the feet, or the shins, but the feet feel far away, you can always grab for the backs of the knees as well for the same effect. And then as you're ready, bring the feet together, send both feet straight up towards the ceiling. You might use the hands at the backs of the legs for support, roll out the feet a few times. Both directions, circling out. And then nice and slow, drop the feet to the ground. Beginning to find your way into your Shavasana today. This might be with the knees bent. I like to bring the feet out wide and let the knees knock in. This can be a sweet opening for the outer hips. You can find Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly, or find butterfly shape, soles of the feet together, knees out wide, more external rotation, but we've done a lot of that today. Or you can just extend the legs out long, finding more traditional shape. Or as always, a seated meditation is very welcome, especially for these midday classes. It can be nice to end with the same type of rest, but just feeling a little bit more present with the rest of the day. When you've gotten your wiggles out, begin to notice if any of that frustration from having to get up and down off the ground so many times today, or dealing with the wobbles, or feeling challenged, or like this was really difficult for you. Allow yourself to greet that with full acceptance and know that I am here feeling that with you. First time I did this flow, it made me very angry, but afterwards I felt really, really good. And then if you found any areas that are physically holding on to tension, you might just ask them to soften. And the way that I ask my own body to soften is to take a big breath in, as big as I can. And then let it out from the mouth, like a big sigh, maybe a dramatic one. And take a few of those. With each breath, allowing your body to relax, even just for the next few minutes. And recognize if the mind is full of chatter, that's what it does. It's no problem. Breathing with encouragement and acceptance for exactly where you are today, with all of the difficulties, with all of the challenges, all of the boredom or the frustrations, the happiness and the joy. All of it comes together. It's a package deal. So let yourself be here for that. The whole package. If you feel comfortable and safe in your space, you might allow the eyes to close, or you might allow a gentle gaze, allowing the edges to get fuzzy, and allowing the breath to carry you into a deeper state of rest or meditation.
last thing here that I would like you to notice is if you're tensing or gripping anywhere still. I know, at least for myself, that I even have a hard time letting the ground, the centuries of wise, wise earth underneath us, I have a hard time even letting that support me. So if you notice that you're trying to hold yourself up, whether from a seat or from your lying down position, just for the next few moments, let yourself be fully supported by the wise earth beneath you. It's been around for generations. It's experienced so many lives over and over again, more than we could ever imagine. Let the next few rounds of breath carry you back into your body, back into this space. Maybe taking those few rounds of breath to be truly grateful and to thank the earth underneath you for supporting you today. And recognizing that each and every one of us truly needs support at some point. It's okay. It's okay to relax into it or to ask for it. If you're on your back, you might extend the arms and the legs long, taking a feel-good stretch. And if you'd like, you can make your way up to a seat. We can close out class here together. Once you're ready, you can lift your eyes, taking a moment to look at the screen. Been doing this lately because I think we all need a little bit more connection right now. So I'm looking at you, even if you're practicing in the future, or if you're here practicing with me live. Thank you so much for being here. Taking a moment of gratitude and wishing that what we do from our day-to-day onto our mat might find a ripple effect into something bigger, that we can, within ourselves, affect change and also create change outside of us. And that these changes that we make decrease the amount of suffering and increase the amount of happiness and well-being within ourselves and within others as well. And remembering that we can offer support and also receive it too. Thank you again. I don't think I introduced myself at the beginning of class. One day I'll get this online teaching thing down, but my name is Noel. You can find me on Instagram at being.evergreen. Please reach out to me. I love to make new yoga friends and friends in general. I'm happy to chat if you have any questions. And I will be back next week with a chill class and also another flow class Sundays at noon. This is my regular online schedule. If you have any requests or anything that you personally are working with, chat with me and I would love to help support you in that. Thanks again. Have a beautiful rest of your day.